Okay, now let's start. In the previous class, we discussed about the agile principles. So basically, we have 4 values that we have discussed and 12 principles. And the argument is that in today's industry setup, we should use these agile principles, that is 12 principles and 4 values, in order to develop software effectively. So then comes to your the next thing is how we are going to incorporate these agile principles and the values. So we have some frameworks that are what we call as the agile frameworks, and using these agile frameworks again, that is whatever the values, whatever the principle that we have studied, the argument, they have such a kind of platform in which all these values and all these principles are incorporated whenever we are working on a kind of project. So, what kind of frameworks? What kind of framework, meaning a kind of tool you can think about it. So, whenever you are going to use such kind of tool, and then all these 12 principles and 4 values will be incorporated. So, what are there are different variants of these agile frameworks that are there in the market. So, what are those? So, let's take it one by one. Okay. So now the first one is what we call the Scrum. The most common one is called the Scrum. So Scrum is basically based on a 1 to 4 week cycle. So the basic key idea of this particular framework, we will also see that how actually the framework actually look like, and what are the principles, and how it is going to incorporate other principles of the agile. But yes, Scrum is the one framework that is there in order to incorporate all 4 values and 12 principles of agile. So this is the most common framework, and its key is that it works in 4 to a 5 week cycle. From 1 to 4 or 4 to maximum 5 week cycle it works, where you take a part of a project and you do your define, you develop, you design and test the software, and your product is developed incrementally, right? So yes, in other models we have incremental models, we also developed in the same way, but the difference is that in incremental model, if we are going to use that alone, then we are not going to incorporate any kind of agile principles or agile values. But in the Scrum, yes, we are developing the product in an incremental fashion, but along with that, we are incorporating these 4 values and 12 principles that we have studied in the agile methodology or in the agile mindset. So the one is the Scrum. The key of the Scrum is that yes, the development is incremental, but in 1 to 4 week cycle we are going to develop these increments, and we keep on developing these increments one by one in 1 to 4 cycle, and then finally we are going to integrate and we have the final product in hand, right? So how we are going to incorporate? So basic difference, see, you will think that okay, we are developing the product incrementally, then what's the difference between the incremental model that we have studied and the Scrum? So the basic idea is of all these framework under the agile is incorporating the 4 values and 12 principles. That is the basic idea. Otherwise, what we are doing, basically we are developing the products, and product is always being developed by following some kind of methodology, some kind of logical steps, the arrangement of these logical steps. And if the logical arrangement is such that we are developing an increments after certain period of time, yes, that is a incremental model, but incorporating the 4 values and 12 principles will reflect that yes, it is a framework, it is a agile framework. So the first is a Scrum. Scrum is the agile framework. Just a second. Okay, Tushar. Okay. Okay, the second framework that we are going to study is about the Kanban. So Kanban is again one framework which is based on the continuous flow model, where you basically try to optimize your existing software development process. So it does not say about how we are going to develop the product, but what it says about how we are going to optimize the existing software development processes that are there. So basically we talk about the Scrum and the Kanban, but yes, there are other combinations of the Scrum and the Kanban, that is the Scrum Band, where you use Scrum as your primary framework, and then you use the Kanban to optimize your flow within your particular sprint. So what is a sprint? Sprint is a one increment that we are going to develop after 1 to 4 week cycle. Okay. So the basic idea of the Scrum and the Kanban is that Scrum is something in which we are going to have one increment after 1 to 4 week cycle, incorporating all the 4 values and 12 principles of the Agile. Otherwise, it is an incremental model. Then second is a Kanban. Kanban is something where we actually talk about the optimization, how the existing software development process can be more optimized. It can be we can deliver the product in a lesser time, in more optimized fashion, concerning about the resources constraints and other stakeholder constraints. So how we are going to optimize the process of existing software development process? The combinations of this is a Scrumban. Yes, we can use that also. Other variants are also exist. That is, one is the extreme programming. So XP, that is what we call the XP. XP has most of the practices of the Scrum, but it also defines some engineering practices which are very crucial for Agile team. And then of course there are other variants like hybrid of Scrum and the XP. So basic idea is that yes, XP and the Kanban are the base, and over above of these, over the top of these Scrum and the Kanban, we have the different variants of these Scrum and the Kanban, right? And the nowadays we talk about the lean startup. Another which is become a very quite popular recently is what we call the lean startup, which helps you if you have a lot of unpredictable market or industry, you want to really prove your solution before you implement. So lean startup actually helps you in that area, and there are many other variants also. So these are some of the framework that are available. Now if we'll see it in a nutshell, then these are the Agile umbrella. In Agile mindset meaning 4 values and 12 principles we have to incorporate. How we are going to incorporate? Do we have some kind of framework that are available? Yes, we have the Scrum and Kanban as the base frameworks, and the variants over the top of these Scrum and the Kanban, we have Scrumban, extreme programming, and lean startup, Crystal. A lot of variants are there, but yes, baseline is Scrum and the Kanban only. Okay, up to this point it is clear to everyone? Yes. Yes, Tushar, Prabhat. Okay. Now let's touch this part about the introduction to this Scrum component. So how this Scrum framework actually works? So now basically we have 3 things in this. One is what we call as the Scrum master. In this red symbol, if you can see that we have a Scrum master here, and then another we have the team, and another we have the product owner. So basically we have the 3 things. One is the Scrum master. What is the Scrum master? What are the role and responsibility of the Scrum master? We'll discuss. Then there is a team, and there is a product owner, and there are some couples of rituals. There are rituals meaning some activities are there which we have to perform. And what are those activities in this Scrum framework? First is the planning, sprint planning meeting. Sprint here, what does it mean by sprint? Sprint is something which we are going to produce, the first increment that we are going to produce after 1 to 4 weeks cycle. That is a sprint. So what are the rituals that are associated? One ritual is sprint planning, sprint planning meetings, daily Scrum meetings. Then this is another ritual, and the third is the sprint review, and fourth is the sprint retrospective. So these are some of the rituals that we have to follow while we are going to use this Scrum framework. And there are some other artifacts, like what are those artifacts? Like we have the product backlog, we have the sprint backlog, and we have some burn down charts. So these are some of the artifacts, right? Okay. So now let's discuss one by one, but overall this Scrum framework has all these components. Let's just have a look on this. If you can see that we have the product backlog, yes we have, and then we have burn down charts or up charts that are there, and then we have this sprint backlog also. So what are these? These are some artifacts that are there. Artifacts meaning they are just storing something. They are, using this you can analyze something. There is some data in this. Okay, and then we have some rituals that are, you can see that yes there are some team members in red, green, blue, violet. right? So what they are doing some kind of rituals. What kind of rituals? How they are going to do that? When they are going to perform these rituals? One ritual is the daily Scrum meeting. One is a sprint review. One is about the sprint retrospective. So all these are the rituals that need to be followed by the team, by the group members, by the stakeholders, or what are those stakeholders that are associated with this. But the key components of the Scrum framework are three, that is the product owner, the Scrum master, and the team. Yes, up to this point it is clear. Okay. Okay. Now let's understand the basic idea behind Scrum. Let's put the Scrum next to the waterfall model first, and let's see how it actually works. So in this 1 to 4 week cycle, where you take part of your product and you define, you design, you build and test. So the key element is always there, right? We want to perform, we want to develop some increment one, or how we are going to perform that. Obviously we have to define it, we have to design it, we have to build it, we have to test it. But now the time period is shortened. We are not going to suppose to have no 5-6 months. No, we have to produce this. This is the basic mindset, this is the basic philosophy of this Scrum, that whenever you, whatever the kind of functionality increment here, whatever the kind of functionality that you are going to produce, you have to produce it 1 to 4 week cycle. Maybe you have the functionality is a big functionality, then you divide it. But the basic idea is that whenever you are working on a functionality, you have to produce it 1 to 4 week cycle, and that's what we call as a sprint. So whenever we call it as a sprint, what we have to do in the sprint, we have to define it, we have to design it, you have to build, and you have again test it, and that is what we call the sprint. Sprint is produced always after 1 to 4 week cycle in this particular Scrum framework. So and then you show your product to your stakeholder, that is your clients, and see if you need to adjust your product or if you need to do something different according to the feedback of the clients. So obviously whenever you get the feedback, then in the second sprint, maybe the second sprint is the refinement of the existing sprint based on the basis of the feedback. So you can incorporate all these feedback from the client into the second sprint, that is going to be, we are going to produce that second sprint again in 1 to 4 week cycle. So the key points that you should note is that 1 to 4 week cycle is the time in where we are going to put the sprint, and sprint is something we are going to have the define, design, build and test your system, the increment, and on the basis of the product feedback, again we are going to produce the next sprint. The next sprint may be the advancement in the previous one, or maybe the new sprint. Okay, and then again you repeat the cycle again and again. This is the same story. And in a waterfall model, if you will compare it, when you do the requirement phase, you get a requirement document, right? And when you do the design phase, obviously you at the end of the design phase you will get a high level design or the low level design document. So you have some more design documents when the stages are keeps on increasing, and then you do your implementation, verification, and then you deploy your system, and finally you will get your finished product. So this is the simple steps that we are going to follow. Again we are following these steps in the Scrum also, but then what's the basic difference? So if you can see in the waterfall model, it is just a one big batch, or it is just a one shot development, and then you get your final product. Whereas if you will compare it with the waterfall, then Scrum is going to produce the sprints, not the whole product. We are not going to produce the whole product, but we are going to produce the sprints in 1 to 4 week cycles. You get some finished product, and then you just keep on adding to your existing product until you get your final product. So that is the basic difference. If you see this particular picture here, that in the waterfall model we have these logical steps are being arranged, and at the end of the 12 months only we are going to get the final product. In between we will not talk about the different functionalities, but at the end of the 12 months only we will get the whole product as in a one shot. But as compared to this, if you will apply this Scrum framework in order to develop the software, then you will see that individual functionalities we are getting after 1 to 4 week cycle, and in 12 months this is how we are going to develop our full-fledged product, by incorporating all these increments or integrating all these increments that are developed in the previous cycle. And that again, the second difference is that waterfall model is not going to follow any kind of these rituals or any kind of values or the principles that are discussed in the Agile framework, but all the 4 principles, 12 values or 12 principles and the 4 values are incorporated in the Scrum. So it means that whatever the sprints that we are producing using this Scrum, it is a kind of agile development. And you know that whenever we are going to develop the software using agile principles, then definitely our chances are very, very higher as compared to the traditional models. Yes, up to this point it is clear to everyone? Yes. Okay. Okay. Now let's take an example that so that you can map it. Okay, how actually this will work, or actually you just understand the basic motivation behind this curve. So if you'll know that there is a lot of websites are there, that is monster.com, naukri.com, or a lot of fresher worlds. There are a lot of websites that are there, which provides the jobs, which where your user can post a job, or he can or she can see a particular job. So let's take an example of the company that you want to build a job website. Let's say it's a monster.com, and they want to use this Scrum framework. Why they want to use the Scrum framework? Yes. Why they actually want to use the Scrum framework in order to develop this website? Yes, Tushar. Yes, Govind. Yes, Aviraj. Hmm. They want to develop a website, and the company is saying, okay, we will use the Scrum framework. Why they are saying like this? They can simply develop it. What's the problem? Okay, Keshav. Mm-hmm. Yes, Keshav. I think Keshav is not there. He just come for the attendance. Yes, Keshav. Okay, Pintu Kumar. Yes, Gaurav Singh. Abhishek. Yes, Gaurav. Tell me. A particular company want to develop a website like Naukri.com, and they decided to use this Scrum framework. Why they decided to use the Scrum framework? Why they cannot just develop it using traditional methods? What's the harm in this? Yes, anyone? Yes, Abhishek. Yes, Saurabh. Tell me. Yes, that's very simple, Saurabh. So yes, perfect. See what we are saying. These Scrum, these whatever the framework that we are studying, why we are using this framework? Although they are just using all the logical step, all these traditional methodologies. But what's the new in this? We in the agile methodology, we just study about the principles. We just study about the values, and then we said that okay, people, the industry masters are saying you just incorporate all these 12 principles and the four values, and then you'll see, you will realize that the software that you are developing is a very effective software, or it is a bug free software if you are going to incorporate all these 12 principles, four values. But then the questions comes that how we are going to incorporate these values, how we are going to incorporate these principles. Then there are frameworks. What are those frameworks? These frameworks are Scrum, Kanban, and then XP. All these frameworks are there, right? So yes, obviously if someone want to develop these monster.com, and yes, they want to develop it successful without any bug, or meaning the bugs are very, very less, then obviously they should use some framework, and the company decided that okay, we should use this particular Scrum as a framework because it incorporate all the four values and 12 principles. Okay, Avi? Okay, so now so the key idea is this. Now, there are three roles that are defined in the Scrum. What are those roles? The first, as I said, that there is a product owner. Just again see this particular diagram. and just have, just take it this diagram or just have a snapshot of this so that we can discuss it. We have product owner, we have team, and we have the Scrum Master. Then what are the role and responsibilities of each of these product owner, team, and Scrum Master? Let's discuss one by one. Okay, the first one is the product owner. So what is the role and responsibility that is given to the product owner? Who is a product owner? One human being or one team member can be a product owner. So what are the role and responsibility you are? So just imagine that you are just working in this project phase one, and you have the 3, 4, or 5 members team, and then you decided that okay, he is the product owner in my team. So you just define the responsibility that are there for this particular product owner, and what are those responsibilities for the product owner? Who defines what need to be done and in what order? This is the first point. Maybe in a team there is a Aviraj, there is Saurabh, and there is some other person, Harshit is there or some other. So you just make one of them as a product owner, and he will tell you that okay, define what need to be done in this product and in what order. Then there is a Scrum Master that helps the team. It is not doing anything, but it is helping the team. That helps the team stay true to the Scrum values and principles. What are the Scrum values and principles? Whatever we have studied in the Agile methodology, all those values. So every team member who are working in this framework on this particular project, they should be very, very much true to these values and principles that are there. And then you will also notice that the Scrum Master helps facilitate most of the meetings in the team. Whenever there is a meeting, he will do all such kind of arrangements. Okay, let's call the meeting at 12 o'clock. Okay, whose responsibility is this? The Scrum Master. He will analyze everything, whether each and every member is following the principles or not. And how he is going to analyze, he will just have a kind of you can it is a kind of software through which he can analyze, okay, this particular person is giving this output, and he is just on all these 4 values, he is doing the things. But if some people are not doing the thing, so the project is not going in a particular direction, then let's call the meeting so that we can discuss the issues. But he just call the meeting. He is just not directly participating in it, but indirectly just calling the meeting and just stay there. And then if there is any roadblocks, then he will be one who will drive the resolution of some of these roadblocks. Okay. Then of course there is a team, the actual who is going to develop the software, that is self-organizing, and they do most of the building of the software. The core is the team, and the product owner is the first who actually take the requirement, what to be done, what order. Scrum Master is going to help in fixing the meetings and seeing that all the values and principles are being followed correctly, and actual development is done by the team, that is obviously a self-organizing team, and it includes the developers, testers, and everyone who can actually help in development of the full-fledged product. So if you will see this particular example, a very good example is that if you want to eat chapati, right, then your mother is preparing chapati for you, and in this scenario, how can you map this particular scenario with the Scrum? So what is the product? The product is a chapati, right? And you as a user, and mother is just developing the chapatis, right? So how you are going to map this particular with the Scrum? See, so if you give your requirement that you want to eat the chapatis, so developer, that is the mother, will develop the 4 chapatis and put in front of you. This is a traditional way of development of the product. So this is what is called waterfall model. So you just give a requirement, I want to eat chapatis, and mother will develop 4 chapatis for you, and you just start eating. So this is a kind of traditional way of development of the software. But then if you develop like a Scrum way, then how the development will occurs? So see, first prepare 1 chapati for you. This is what we call the 1 sprint. That is what we are calling 1 to 4 week cycle. So what is that? This is 1 chapati, you can map it. So the first prepare 1 chapati for you, and then place in front of you, and on the basis of your feedback about the chapati, see, prepare next chapati, and so on. Or maybe see, improve, or maybe whatever, some more qualities if she want to incorporate in the next chapati, she can do depending on your feedback. So this way the customer gets the desired product. So now are you getting that how it is being different from the traditional waterfall model? Yes. Yes, beta. Okay, now back to your example. Now the next comes the product owner, right? So the first is the product owner, right? So what the role and responsibility of the product owner is going to talk to the executives, the team, as I said that he's going to define and in what order the things will come. So the product owner is going to talk to the executives, the team, the stakeholders, clients, users, and will try to define what exactly need to be built. And so that will create something like the product backlog. So the milestone that is being achieved after all the discussion from the product owner is a product backlog. So what is the product backlog? What it contains, which is basically a list of user stories which are prioritized and define what need to be done. So okay, this particular thing we have to do, then second this thing we have to do, then third that this particular thing we have to do. So all kind of user stories we are going to write in this particular product backlog. Now the product backlog is very different than typical requirement document, and you will see it's basically a very high level kind of thing, and it can change over the time. So very high level, in this case it might mean that the first item is a post a job. So this is the first requirement. Then so this particular post a job will be put in the product backlog. So a company admin can post a job or job seeker can apply for a job. So those at that level a backlog is defined. Okay, so the after the product owner take the requirement, then he is going to put all these into the product backlog, and one by one we are going to pick the requirements from the product backlog and will try to develop that particular requirement using these 1 to 4 week cycle that we call as a sprint. Okay, now so this is the role and responsibility of this product owner. So once the team is ready to sprint meaning to start developing this particular functionality, they get together for a meeting, and this is what we call the sprint meeting, sprint planning meeting, where the whole team get together and they pick the top stories. Top story means the top functionality that we have to develop, that they can work on the existing sprint, and the product owner reviews those stories with the team and helps answer any questions and clarify anything that is not clear. So for example, the meeting, the team member starts saying, okay, you want to develop a job a post functionality, then they will discuss internally, okay, this is how we can do it, this is how we are going to do it. So this is a kind of planning meeting, and in this planning meeting obviously the product owner is there, so that if something that is not understood by the team, he can explain very well, okay, this is the meaning, this is how I have written this job a post functionality, this is the meaning of this from my side, and they discuss it internally and they come up with particular milestone, that is what we call it the sprint planning meeting milestone. So team selects the starting at the top as much as it can and can commit to deliver by end of the sprint. Okay, now then the team gets together again and then do a tasking out of those stories, which means like what exactly we need to build out of the software to build the software. So in this case they may say, well, I need to design this database, I need to fill some data and test it on the database. Okay, I need to create a UI screen and some other activities. So once the team has looked at the stories and they have tasked it out and they know that they can finish it in the next sprint or in the existing sprint, then they will commit to the stories and say, yes, that's okay, we will finish it in this particular sprint. So this is a kind of planning that is being done at that particular stage. That is what we call as the sprint planning meeting. So in the outcome of the sprint planning meeting is the sprint backlog. So that is backlog meaning these are the user stories, and this particular user story or this is a functionality, but this functionality cannot be completed in a single sprint. For this we need to have 2-4 sprints. So what we are going to deliver in a first sprint, so that is what we call as the sprint backlog. That is the task breakout, how we are going to break these tasks. So from the sprint planning we come to the sprint backlog, and then as I said that then start their execution and start the sprint where everybody is working to implement the software, and during that sprint the whole team gets together for a daily stand up in which everybody talks about what they did yesterday. So that is what we call the daily stand-up meetings also. So yes, and during that sprint, the whole team gets together. As I said that this is what we call the daily stand-up meetings, and they in daily stand-up meeting they talk about, okay, what we have done yesterday, what we are going to do today, and what are the road blocks that are there. So in this case, our database person may say like, I designed or created the tables yesterday in the database, and then today I am going to populate it with some data. And if anybody out there who can help me, that's will be awesome, right? And then he may also say that I don't have a permission of certain things in the database, and unless I have that permission, I won't be able to finish my job. So all such kind of the backlogs or the success stories they are going to share with each other in these stand-up meetings. So these are not kind of formal meetings. They are just okay, just like a meeting on a cup of tea. So they discuss all these things. So then somebody might be help during these backlogs. So whom do I contact, where I will get the resource to finish the particular, all these things will be resolved in using these stand-up meetings. So this is a kind of very informal meetings that are there. So that is what we call the daily Scrum meetings, stand-up meetings. Okay. And so these things continues for the rest of the days in the sprint. And at the end of the sprint, you end up having your finished product. So these stand-up meetings are continuous. We just have all these stand-up meetings again and again, daily, on the daily basis. Up to which point? Until and unless we are not going to deliver the first sprint, then it means these stand-up meetings will now finish. Again, when we are going to work on the second sprint, then on a daily basis we are going to do such kind of stand-up meetings, so that we can discuss the success stories and some roadblocks that are there, and who can help us in resolving all these roadblocks. So yes, that is the what we call the daily Scrum meetings. So from the sprint planning document, we come out with a task breakout, and if you can see that color of this task breakout, then this is being given by the team, different team members, and these team members are going to develop these sprint. Sprint is obviously 1 to 4 week cycle, and during development we do every 24 hours. What we will do, we perform these daily Scrum meetings, and then at the end of 1 to 4 week cycle we will get our first increment, that is the first finished product. Okay, so there are two other meetings that happens at the end of the sprint. Now we are end up with the first increment. Then we have another two meetings. The two meetings are, one is the sprint review meeting, where the whole team get together with the stakeholders, that is clients, and demonstrate the work that they have done and get a feedback. So in this meeting, the stakeholders may say, well, I have additional idea, I think we should do that also, or they may say that let's tweak some of these functionalities. So by the end of the first increment, the meetings that are being conducted are what we call the sprint review meetings. Here we will get feedback from the client. But during these sprint development, the meetings that are there, that is what we call the daily Scrum meetings, that is the internal meetings, stand-up meetings. But at the end of the product, we have the sprint meeting with the client, and on the basis of the feedback from the client, we may add some more functionalities or may define the existing sprint in the next sprint cycle. And the second kind of meeting is what we call the sprint retrospective, where they talk about the process and not about the product. So here the team actually discussed, see, in this particular sprint development, this way we are not following right kind of things. We should, in the next sprint, when we will meet, or for the next sprint, we should incorporate this particular process so that we can develop it easily. So here the discussion is not about the functionalities of the product, but the discussion is about the processes. What more processes, what is my learning in this particular sprint meeting one, in this particular sprint one. So these are my learnings, and in the next cycle I am going to incorporate all these learnings, so that the next cycle we have more optimized processes. So in this case they talk about what went well in the last point. So they take all the good points from the last sprint and try to incorporate all these last points in the next cycle, that is the sprint cycle. what didn't go well, they also discuss, and they will try to avoid what didn't go well in the next cycle. So these are the kinds of meeting. So if you will see overall, we have the product owner, we have the team who actually develop the software. The milestone of the product owner is the product backlog, where we actually have used these user stories. After discussion from the client, the product owner writes the user stories. Out of these user stories, this team, with the internal discussion or the collaboration inside the team, internal discussion within the team or with the product and the product owner, they come out with the sprint planning meeting, and the outcome of the sprint planning meeting is the task breakout. Okay, this is the first task that we have to complete, and when this particular task is being completed, it has to be completed in 1 to 4 week. That is what we call as one sprint. During the development of one sprint, that is 1 to 4 week cycle, we have daily Scrum meetings, that is the stand-up meetings. These stand-up meetings actually talks about, okay, where we are stuck or what is the success story, and if we are stuck somewhere, who can help us, what are the resources I need. So these is what we call the stand-up meetings. At the end of one sprint, we'll get the first functionalities or the functionality that is being produced after the one sprint. And after this, we'll do two kinds of reviews. One is the sprint review, another is the sprint retrospective review. In the sprint review, what we will do, we will discuss about, okay, with the client, this is the product that we have developed in a 1 to 4 week cycle. Client will give his or her feedback, and on the basis of his or her feedback, we will start with another sprint, a very fresh sprint, or maybe we will add new functionality to the existing sprint, or we will do some modification in the existing sprint on the basis of the client feedback. Then the another meeting after this is the sprint retrospective. Here we do not talk about the product, but we talk about the processes. Okay, what are those good things that actually happen in the 1 to 4 week first sprint cycle, and we should adopt all those things in the next sprint cycle. So all these, this is the kind of philosophy of this particular Scrum framework. Okay, then another things that are there is to keep the track of the sprint, like are we going to achieve our goal for the sprint? The team uses something called as the burn down or the burn up charts, which shows the amount of work left or the days of the sprint. So in 1 to 4 week cycle, how much work we have completed in this day. In the second day, how much work we have completed, what is being now not done. So all these we can visualize using these burn down or up charts. So at any given day, they can say, are we going to make it or are we not going to make it? And if they need to focus on or need some additional help, then obviously these stand-up meetings, these team members will discuss all these things. How they are going to discuss with all these things? Obviously, by seeing these burn down charts, they will discuss, see, today we have achieved this milestone, this particular functionality or this particular thing we have achieved, but in order to complete this, I need these resources. So the task that is being completed on a particular day can be seen using these burn down charts. So this is the use of these burn down charts during the sprint development. So yeah, so that is the overall philosophy of this Scrum. And if we'll summarize that, the main key things about the Scrum and how the Scrum actually support the agile principles. If you'll see overall philosophy here, what we are doing, how we are going to incorporate these values. If you will visualize the whole framework, then you will get to know that there is a complete feedback mechanism from the client, and there is a lot of collaboration between the team members. If you see the first, the team are collaborated for sprint planning meeting, then teams are then again collaborated for daily Scrum meetings, team again collaborated for the sprint review, team again collaborated for the sprint retrospective. So there is a huge collaboration and there is a huge feedback from the client. So that is the basic outline of the agile. If I'll, we have discussed these things, just see this, what is the two things that we the two principles that are there in the Agile. Let's focus on this. One, talk about the adaptive nature of the software development. Are we incorporating the adaptive nature in the software development using Scrum? Yes or no? So these are the key principles of the Agile. Out of 4 values and 12 principles, the takeaway is yes, we should be very, very much adaptive in nature. And then another is the collaboration. So are we doing these two things in Scrum or not? Yes, Saurabh? Okay, so it means that the whole philosophy of this Scrum actually revolve around these two things, that is collaboration between the members and the iterative this kind of feedback mechanism that is adaptive in nature. And obviously it also supports the continuous improvement with the sprint retrospective. And there are many other things, but as we can see here, it at least embodies the key principle of the Agile, that is the collaborations of team members and the adaptiveness. So these key principles are being incorporated, and in fact all 4 values and 12 principles actually contains these two takeaway, that is the collaboration and the adaptiveness, and that is incorporated in this particular Scrum framework. Okay. So that is the summary of this Scrum framework. We have Scrum Master, the team, the product owner, the sprint planning meeting, the daily Scrum meeting, sprint review, and the sprint retrospective. Then we have the product backlog, sprint backlog, and the burn down charts. And yes, a practical application for using the Scrum framework using Jira Scrum can be, Jira is a like Scrum framework, the name is Jira, Z-I-R-A, and can be seen, you just go through this particular link. Here you will have this particular kind of framework where all these principles that we have discussed, they are shown practically how they are going to use it for the software development process. Okay, this one, this is visible? Yes, this is visible. So whatever we have discussed, these burn down charts, day remaining, so this Jira dashboard you can use to incorporate. So this is a kind of Scrum that is these people are using in order to develop the software. So just go through this lecture, so this video tutorial. Here you will get a link that how to incorporate this dashboard of Jira in order to develop your software using the Scrum framework, that is the Agile methodology principles. Okay. Okay, or just write this how to start with the Jira Scrum fast, agiletraining.co.uk. Okay, just you will go through this, and here you will get the good tutorial of practically how we are going to implement this. Now, fine. So that's for today. The remaining